Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rosie and I'm currently a master's student studying forensic archaeology and anthropology at Cranfield University. Those of you who aren't new to my channel will probably realise that this is not my usual setup. The sound is very echoey. This is not my usual backdrop. I've got a new apartment. No, I haven't. I'm on holiday. Today's video is going to be trying to give you some tips on how to actually choose a master's course. I've already made a video on whether a master's course is actually right for you, whether you should do one. So if you haven't seen that yet, that would be the first video to check out, and this is a follow-on from that one. The first thing to think about when choosing your master's is why you actually want to do it. Do you just really like a subject? Do you want to start something completely new? Do you want to specialise in a specific area that you did at your undergrad or that you've done in a job? Or do you just want to do a master's for the sake of it? No matter what the reason is for you doing a master's, if you actually try and work out what that reason is, it is going to help you plan moving forward. So for example, if you're doing a master's to specialise, you are going to want to choose a course that isn't something that you've completely done before. It needs to home in on that skill that you want to specialise in. I say this every time, but for me that meant moving from an undergraduate degree in archaeology and anthropology to a master's in forensic archaeology and anthropology, which is a very specialised area of that broad subject that I'd done before. The second thing to think about is, are there any other options? Are there any other ways that you could fulfill this reason that you want to do a master's? You know, could you specialise without doing a master's? Could you maybe even have a job and then get them to pay for the master's? Or do your master's part-time alongside a job? Essentially what I'm saying is, are there any other ways that you can do the same thing without having to pay for a master's? Third thing is, you need to think about what type of master's you want to do. I had no idea there were different types of masters when I applied, but there are a lot, and I'm going to put them all on the screen now alongside a definition of what they actually are. But essentially you need to choose between a research master's, where the focus is a thesis. That is your big project. It's a lot of words. You're not examined the same way for loads of modules like you are in a taught course. Or there's things like the MSc, which is a taught master's, and you know, you have modules. It's more like undergraduate. You then have a dissertation at the end, which is still a lot of words, but it is nowhere near the same as a research. You should also think about whether you want to be part-time or full-time. There's benefits to both. You know, full-time is over quickly. You pay for 1 year, you pay for 1 year of accommodation, you're in and you're out. Part-time is useful if you want a job at the same time, if you need to fund your master's whilst doing it, if you need childcare. The only downside with that one is I think you need to pay for 3 years of accommodation, unless obviously you live closely and can commute. I considered doing a part-time master's because I wasn't sure how I was going to fund the one that I'm doing now. I then decided to take a year out before my master's instead of stretching it out for a long time. So if money is the issue that you're thinking about when you're deciding between part-time and full-time, there's of course the option of delaying the master's versus, you know, spreading it out. Number 4 is the subject. I briefly mentioned this already, but don't just decide on the first one you see just because it looks cool. Lots of different places do lots of different types of masters and lots of different types of subjects. Subjects with the same name might be very, very different when you actually break down the course content. And the biggest tip I think I would give is to make sure you properly look at this course content and weigh up whether you want to get a course that has more things you've never done, or a course that has more things you have done but maybe has certain things that you've never done. So just maybe go through and circle things that you really like the Argos catalogue. We all did it. Do it with your uni course. I personally think there is absolutely no point doing a master's if you've already studied all of that at undergraduate. What are you paying for? Stress. Number 5, how is it assessed? What I mean by this is, what's the split between exam work and coursework? Are there exams at all? Is there any coursework? How many pieces of coursework do you have to do? What's the weighting? Are there group projects? Is it all individual work? You know, you just need to pick a master's that is assessed in a way that suits you. You can find all of this information on the university websites for the course that you choose. So just make sure you have a look, because there's no point doing a course that is, you know, completely assessed by exams if you perform better and enjoy assignments more. Number 6, who is there? Is there anyone specific that, you know, you want to follow into their department to do a master's? Are you thinking ahead to research opportunities? Is there a specific uni that has more connections in an industry that you want to specialise in? Think about what you want to do research in. If your master's has a research element, that is. Because once the dissertation topics come out, they're going to be suited to the academics, the researchers and the staff that are affiliated with that university. Obviously, if you have no idea, then you're in a great position here. You probably don't need to worry about that one at all. Number 7, what's the accommodation like? Is there any accommodation? Is it postgraduate only accommodation, or is it mixed with undergraduate? Again, this is all of your preferences, but have a look at, especially whether your university actually offers accommodation for you. I think another issue with postgraduate accommodation is, you know, is it mixed with undergraduate? And maybe that's what you want. I know personally, I don't think I'd want to be living with freshers right now. I'm old, I need my sleep, but that one is completely up to you. You could also stay at home if you have a home already that you can work from, especially during Corona. There might be a university that works better for you that way. You know, you could just commute or walk to and from uni from your actual house that you are in already. Now finally, I know that was only 8, which is a really random number, funding. There's a lot to think about, and I think I might do a whole nother video on, you know, funding for masters, because I think the postgraduate loan is a little bit complicated. It's not quite as straightforward as the undergraduate one. It also is paid off alongside the undergraduate one. Essentially, you'll have 2 taxes, so to speak, on your wages, as opposed to just one that goes on for longer. Like, it doesn't just add on top, it's alongside. You also pay it off from a lower wage. So you've got the loan to think about, you've also got scholarships to think about. Is there a uni that has more scholarships than another one? Do you perhaps need to take a year out to fund your masters, or just fund the accommodation costs and then get a loan to cover the fees? Do you want a year out to apply to scholarships? Do you want to go part-time, like I said before? Are you already in industry and could try and get a sponsor? So if you're applying to do a master's this year, or you're thinking about applying next year, I wish you all the best of luck. You've got this. If you have any other master's related videos that you would like me to cover, then just put them down in the comments and give me a thumbs up, and I will do my best to get them to you ASAP. Bearing in mind I have to write a thesis, but we can do it. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!